It's Brian Preston, the Money Guy.
I do have Josh's name because he has been in the wings. He has a question. He says, I'm 35 and looking to upsize my home. Should I put just 20% down? Or should I put my equity in my current place, which is about $400K, towards my next mortgage? What would be the most powerful army of dollar decision for him to make?
So let me give you the Chief Compliance Officer disclaimer here, Josh. We don't know your unique and individual situation. We don't know your circumstances. We don't know your goals. We don't know your risk tolerance, your risk capacity, or your time horizon. So it's going to be very difficult for us to give you very specific and specialized advice. And Brian, I don't know about you, but this is one of those things that the answer to this question, I think, is based off of a number of different variables as to whether it makes sense and he should do it or should not do it.
This is the moneymaker was going in all kind of different directions as soon as I heard this, because the brain, because I had an interview and I was reminded because there was some information republished recently where there was an influencer out there that prepaid their mortgage by the time they were 30 years old, and then after having discussions with them, I was like, that didn't disagree with my financial order of operations because I found out this person was saving and investing well beyond 25% of their gross income. They were just blessed that they had a really good income as a household, that in addition to investing 25%, because they had personally prioritized paying off all debt, that they went ahead and paid off the entire debt. And I was like, well, that works with the financial order. Because I think everybody's always looking for the gotcha to say, you wouldn't have done this. And I'm always like, no, everybody's got a different situation of what your why, what you're going to, what the goals are. We're just giving you the step-by-step process with the financial order of operations to maximize it and do it in a good process. So when I hear a question from Josh about this, and he's 35 years old, well, I know he's probably thinking, well, gosh, I'm under 45, so I probably should, after I do a 20% down payment, Brian's already shared with me this money could be very valuable to put that money to work because I'm still in the wealth building process. But the thing is, Josh, I don't know where you are in your journey. Maybe you're one of these financial mutants that also thought when you were 21 years old, you're like, I want to retire at 45 years old. So I'm going to save 75% of my working income. You might be so far ahead of the curve on your saving and investing from the work you did in your 20s that if you know your why and what you're trying to go to, it might make sense to apply the entire balance of equity to that brand new house so you're debt free. Now, if you're somebody who's young, maybe you goofed off all through your 20s and you're at your 30s, but you're way behind on where you should be, then you might only want to put down the 20% since this is a house upgrade. This is not your first down, home that you're buying. This is an upgrade. And then put the rest to work to try to catch up because you didn't do what you were supposed to, or you got, life didn't allow you to do what you were supposed to in your 20s. That's why this is individual. Now, I do have a tool for you. And this is one of the things, this is why we're constantly trying to think of, since we can't individually know what Josh's situation is there something we could give them as a tool to at least so they have more metrics to measure what's the right decision? And that's where we came up with Know Your Number.
That's exactly right.
So if you go to learn.moneyguy.com, we do have a Know Your Number course where it actually walks you through goal planning as well as a calculation at the end that tells you, hey, what are my goals? What am I trying to accomplish? And lets you kind of prioritize where you are. And I think somebody like Josh, you're the perfect candidate for kind of measuring where you are in this process and what the goals are and laying those two against each other to figure out, should I do what these guys talk about pre-45 of maximizing to build wealth? Or am I at the component where I'm so ahead of schedule, I can, keep wealth by paying down debt, which is a form of risk? Those are the way it works, Josh.
And remember to keep in mind, Brian already mentioned one. This is an upgrade, so it's got to be 20% down. Also, make sure you don't forget the fundamentals. With this second house, put down enough so that your housing cost stays below 25%. If not putting more than 20% down does not allow that, you're getting yourself into dangerous territory. I know right now valuations are exciting and you want to be greedy when others are fearful, but not too greedy. You want to be greedy, but not too greedy. So make sure you're following the rules the way that they ought to be followed.